coming, coming for this session to learn about interview skills so that you guys can be well prepared for your interview session. Are you guys going for internship soon? From Penang, but from JB, I see. Yes, yes. Okay. So you guys will be looking for your internship placement very soon, right? Okay. Can thank you very much for your response. Okay. We are from Student Career Development Center. For those who still are not sure what we are doing as a center, just to give you guys a brief idea, we do organize our career fairs, internship fairs, and also career-related activities. What is the career-related activities? For example, this webinar, pre-career fair webinars for the students to be well prepared before they step into the corporate world. Okay. So for this webinar session, as you guys know, you guys will be getting the soft skill point. Okay, so please be reminded to stay until the end of this webinar, as it is required for you guys to fill out a feedback form before you guys leave the webinar session. Okay, it will be given at the end of the webinar. Okay, so let me introduce our speaker today. I have my colleague here, Miss Loshene. She is one of the career advisor in Student Career Development Center. So she will be sharing information about interview skills. So let me pass the session to her now. Ms. Loshene?
Thanks, Janice. All right, let me share my slide first. Okay, if y'all can see my slide, please comment a yes. Okay, good. All right. Okay, hi everyone. My name is Loshene, right? I'm one of the career advisor in Student Career Development Center, all right? So for today's session, yeah, I'll be actually exposing yourself to first the interview methods, followed by types of approaches in order for y'all to secure an interview placement, and followed by the interview stage, as in the do's and don'ts of interview, okay? So before I proceed with the first area, which is the interview methods, right? What are the examples of interview methods that you all are aware of? Please drop in the chat box. Interview methods, yeah? Any idea? Besides the physical interview method. Any other? Yes, phone interview. Phone interview. Online, correct. Yes, okay, let me proceed. Okay, so the typical interview method will be the physical method, where you have to be physically present at the company's office in order for you to undergo your interview process. And currently, due to the pandemic, the more comfortable method with which companies are actually going for is actually the phone and virtual concept. All right, for phone concept, yeah, companies can either call you directly to your mobile number, or they can also call you via WhatsApp. Okay, why WhatsApp? It's because, you know, it's cost effective. Imagine if companies are going to call hundreds of candidates for vacancies. So yeah, WhatsApp will be one of the manner which companies will opt for. Okay, so if companies are going to call you all using WhatsApp manner, all right, and if it's the call is going to be early in the morning, yeah, one advice is for you all to at least make sure that if your call is 8 o'clock in the morning, it's scheduled for 8 in the morning, please make sure that you are awake at least an hour before the call. Why? Because you wouldn't want to sound, you know, as if you just woke up, right? That will be one no-no, right? And for the virtual method, yeah, any ideas, right, of the don'ts that you should practice for a virtual interview session? Example, any examples? You can drop in the chat section, yeah? What are the don'ts you shouldn't be doing during a virtual session, virtual interview. Don't wear casual, all right? Correct, having a messy background. Okay, so please make sure that when you're going for your virtual session, please make sure you check your microphone. If your microphone is functional, all right, please make sure that your background is clear, as in you have a proper lighting. And yeah, for a messy background here, okay, please make sure that your background is fine. If it's messy, or there are a lot of movements behind your background, for instance, you're sitting at a cafe to attend for your interview, please opt for the virtual background. Okay, next. Okay, these are all the type of approaches which you can opt for. Okay, these are just examples of types of approaches which you can opt for in order for you to secure for an interview. Okay, so for the first two method, which is the resume and email ethics, all right, for this two I would not be presenting. Okay, you can actually view Miss Carmen's webinar, which will be on our virtual platform. All right, the link will be in the chat section. Okay, please view her webinar. It's very informational. All right, so I will proceed with the next four, which is phone call, private message, links, and also dress and speak well with confidence. Okay, let me proceed with the first phone call approach. Okay, so before that, all right, this types of approaches are the approaches which you are going to use in order for you to link to companies. All right, so how do you link to companies? Where do you get their details? Or where would you get their details, as in email address, person in charge, not mobile number, more to landline number. So for all these details, you can actually gain it by your faculty database. Okay, for this, right, for faculty database, my suggestion to you all, right, due to the pandemic, there are a lot of companies who actually have staff retrenchment, okay, and they have actually hired a lot of new faces for their company. So we would not know if your faculty's database is up to date, okay? So the best is actually to directly call those companies which are already in your faculty database, right? Call their main line, right, and ask for the person in charge so that you can drop your resume to the person, okay? Because if the person is no longer there, your resume will actually never reach the company, right? And then you can also opt for our Student Career Development Center's Facebook. There are a lot of job adverts that we post over there, okay? The second approach can also be career fair. Career fairs, we have internal, as in TAUC's internal career fair. We have external, for example, those which are in Mid-Valley, KLCC, right? And recently, our government, all right, they are also actively providing citizens with job placement via the program Penjana Rakyat via Perkeso, right? So this one, how it works, it functions as in government, as in Perkeso, right? They actually hire third-party organization, right, to do the job placement for candidates. Okay, so basically you will undergo like maybe a few weeks to a few months skills training. Once you're okay, they know what are your capabilities, these companies will actually place you accordingly to those companies which are under them, right? The third method will be company's website. So this is basically your approach, right? You pick those companies which you are comfortable with or which you are keen with, okay? So you have to personally visit their website, gain the information, call the companies up in order for you to drop your resume, right? The fourth method will be LinkedIn. Okay, so LinkedIn is actually a professional, how do I say, something like similar to Facebook, but the function for LinkedIn is for professional usage only, all right? So previously in the past, LinkedIn it's more for those of senior level and above. But to what I've noticed recently, due to the pandemic, a lot of companies are actually posting job adverts for junior and associate levels. So it's high time that students actually, start to create a profile for LinkedIn, and you should start to, what do I say, make it as your playground, go and be familiar with LinkedIn's usage, right? And it's also one place where headhunters are actively hunting for candidates, all right? And the fifth method will be employment website. The typical one will be JobStreet. Okay. Any other ideas of employment website that you all are aware of? Please drop it in the chat box. Besides JobStreet. Employment website is the website where you actually just drop your CV or your resume, right? There's no dual communication. It's a platform where you just observe the job description and you drop your resume. Okay, we have Indeed, Fast Job, Grad1. All right. Okay, y'all are aware of it, right? So next, let me start with the phone call approach, all right? So earlier I mentioned, right, where are you all going to get your company details from? Database, career fairs, LinkedIn, websites, all right, employment website, okay? How are you all going to approach those for that manner, all right? First, it's phone call approach, okay? Okay, we start with greet, all right, and we go clockwise manner, yeah? Okay, for phone call approach, first, when you've already received or when you've already gotten the mobile number or the landline number of your company, okay, first, when you call, please greet the person first. Hello. Okay, it doesn't need to be hello, good afternoon. It's fine if it's just a hello, okay? Hello. Clarify if you're speaking to the person in charge. For instance, let's say the person is Miss Janice, okay, from HR. From Thai UC, okay? Let's say your job application is from Thai University College, okay? So, hello, am I speaking to Miss Janice from Thai UC, all right? And then please ask the person's permission if they are free to speak, because you wouldn't know if the person that it's, who's in charge of the vacancy, could be a HR manager, all right? So usually a HR manager, their schedule will be very tight. So please ask for their permission, okay? So can I please speak to you for a minute? Okay, my name is Loshene, all right? I'm calling regarding the vacancy that you have posted for a career coach, okay? That will be the purpose, all right, why you're calling, okay? And then clarify with the person if the person has received your resume, okay? I want to double confirm if you have received my resume, all right? And if just say the person says a yes, all right, ask for the time frame by when you'll actually get a response from them. If it's a no, all right, perhaps, the high chances that your resume actually dropped in their spam email, right? So ask them if it's a no, you can drop them your resume again, or you can actually give them the time and also the date of your resume, right? I mean, your email sent, right? So the person can double check. Okay, and always end your phone call with a thank you, right? So where can you use this phone call approach, right? You can use it for all the companies that are in the database, right? You can use it for career fairs, right? You can also use it for company website. Why do I say career fair? Any idea? Because career fair is a place where you go, where all companies are placed, right? There are hundreds of students that walk in, or candidates. It can be hundreds to thousands of students that they will just drop their resume. So why do I say that, you can actually use this phone call approach for career fair? Any idea? You can drop it in the chat section. Why phone call approach for career fair? Okay, I do not get any response. It's okay, I'll proceed. Why I say a phone call approach is, okay, imagine, right, there's company A in a career fair, okay? And that is one demanding company where, for instance, let's say they have about 100 resumes of students that they have received during that one day of career fair, okay? What if you are that one student or that one candidate that takes the extra step to call the company after 2 to 3 days. Okay, give some space, all right? Call the company after 2 to 3 days. Tell your, update them with your name, all right? For instance, my name is Loshene. I visited your company during the career fair. I'd just like to know what is the progress of my resume. You know, so it's in a way you're making yourself to be visible to the company, right? Okay, before I proceed with the private message approach, are y'all clear so far? If it's a yes, please drop a yes. Okay, before I go to the next approach here, let me show y'all one poor phone call approach. Okay, let's say if you are Pua Weizing. Okay, your name is Pua Weizing. I'm giving you a Chinese name, yeah, Pua Weizing, because typically students or someone who's new to this interview process, what you might do is instead of giving your full name, Pua Weizing, yeah, you might actually just say, "Hi, I'm Pua. Did you receive my resume?" You know, you might just call to the HR department and you just say, "Hi, I'm Pua. Did you receive my resume?" So that is a big no. Why? Even though you have mentioned your name, Pua, all right, and you're calling the HR department, which is the right department, okay, but you did not clarify, okay, if that is the person in charge you're speaking to. Please remember that a HR department does not just manage candidates' inquiry. They also do all other matter, right? So please make sure that you mention your full name, Pua Weizing, because throughout the whole interview, the candidate seeking process, that might be about hundreds or 10 to 100 people by the name of Pua actually applying for the job. So please give your full name. Please clarify if that's the actual person that you're going to speak to, all right? Even though you're calling the HR department, all right? Okay, now private message approach. Okay, so what is a private message? Do y'all know what's a private message? Any idea what's a private message? Okay, a private message is a message between two individuals only, yeah? So basically, you and the sender only, okay? So for a private message approach, first of all, you need to be very clear of who you're approaching, okay? For a interview process, in order for you to gain an interview, right, it is important that the person that you're approaching from the company, it's the HR person, human resource department person, okay, first. Second, when you're sending out a private message, okay, treat this private message similar to an email approach, all right? You start off with your greetings, okay, your purpose, okay, for instance, hi, Miss Lee, okay, I am Loshene. I'm keen with the job placement of your company, all right? And then attach your resume, okay? And then formally sign off, all right, with your full name. Say thank you, okay? And if it's possible, please, even though your mobile number is stated on your resume, please provide your mobile number at the bottom of your name, right? So it's easier for them, because there are high chances that maybe for your resume, you might have missed out your mobile number, right? Okay, and where do you actually use this private message approach? Any idea? Since JobStreet, Indeed, it's a one-way manner where you just drop your resume. Any idea where do you use this private message approach? WhatsApp. What else? Facebook. Oh, right, yes, because there are a lot of companies which are also using Facebook for job advert, correct? What else? So basically, you'll be using Facebook, LinkedIn, right? It's one of the places where you can use the private message approach besides their active links, okay? Because, Facebook, LinkedIn and all, they also have their job posting site where you just directly apply via their active link, right? You can also use their private message approach. Okay, third, the link approach, all right? So for the link approach, as I mentioned earlier, it's all those active links, all right, where you have to click on it in order for you to drop your CV, your resume, right? For the right vacancies which you're keen with, okay? And please make sure that all those links that you click on to drop your resume, it's all functional, okay? How do you know if the link is functional? Once you've sent your CV, how do you know if the link is functional? Any idea? Once you have sent a CV using a link, let's say Facebook or LinkedIn, how do you know that link is functional and that company has received your link? How do you know? Okay, typically companies, once you have dropped them a resume, okay, using their active links, right, you will typically get a confirmation email, okay? It's a automatic confirmation email. All right, the company will send it to you saying that, hi, Pua, thank you so much for your interest. We will get back to you soon. Okay, that's one manner that you can know that the link is functional. Okay, and where can you use it? Career fairs. Okay, why do I say career fair? Okay, because typically career fairs, you walk in, you drop your hard copy of your resume, okay? But as time it's changing, there are high chances where career fairs might change their approach, right? They might just use a QR method where you just have to scan the QR code and you just drop your resume in PDF format to the companies, okay? And then company website, LinkedIn, and employment websites for link approach. So far, are y'all clear? If y'all are clear, just drop me a 1 in the chat section. Okay. Okay, now I'm going for the fourth and last approach, which is the dress, speak well with confidence approach, okay? So for this dressing up and speaking well, right, this is compulsory for all your interview manner. Let it be your physical, let it be your phone call, let it be your virtual. Why do I say phone call? Because it's good for you to actually feel yourself being formal, because without you knowing, right, it will actually affect your interview process. Even though your interviewer cannot see you, but when you're in formal attire, it will actually affect your mental condition, right? So first, please make sure that you are always informal. Okay, the standard process is for you to dress up formally, unless it's stated in the email or when you have spoken to the person in charge that it's okay for you to be semi-formal. Because usually companies that are startup companies or companies that are more into communication, as in mass communication, they would definitely prefer candidates that are dressed up semi-formal, right? Please make sure that your shoes are all covered. Okay, for boys, make sure you're using covered shoes. For girls, even though you're using heels, yeah, please make sure that your heels are covered, right? And okay, most importantly, let me ask you all this one question. Okay, imagine yourself, you're going for a first date, okay? Okay, you're going for a first date. What will you do when you observe your partner? What will you do? Any ideas? What will y'all do? Top to bottom, what will y'all observe? Hi, yes, definitely, you'll greet your partner, right? Besides that, what will you observe physically? What will y'all observe on your partner? Yes, his or her appearance, definitely, top to bottom. Definitely, without yourself knowing, you will definitely scan them top to bottom. That's the same thing what your interviewer will do to you, yeah? They will definitely look at your hair, top, your hair, is it neat, right? Your eyes, is it clean? Your teeth, yeah, is it clean? Okay, it's okay if you don't have a straight set of teeth, but is it clean? Okay, and then your attire, is it good? Then bottom, your shoes, your fingernail, all this needs to be good. It's okay if if you're not done with your pedicure, manicure, that is fine, but please be clean. Okay. Next, speak well with confidence. There is no need for you to speak bombastic languages, okay? There's no need for that. You can speak basic English, basic English which is clear, all right, with confidence and with no grammatical order. That is fine. There's no need for bombastic English, okay? And always throughout the whole process, let it be a career fair approach, let it be during your interview stage, always smile genuinely to the person that you're speaking to. Have a proper handshake, which is firm, okay? Why I say firm, right? So that you're showing your confidence to the person, okay? Next, have good eye contact, right? Learn to have good eye contact, right? Practice, it's a practice. You need to practice it, okay? So that you do not end up staring to the person, okay? And always end your session with a thank you, all right? Let it be a phone call approach, let it be an interview, let it be yourself meeting the person in charge during a career fair, all right? Always greet and also always say thank you, all right? Okay, before I forget, I almost forgot this, right? Because it's not important for you to dress up using expensive clothes, okay? You can always prepare yourself. Okay, let's say you're a final year student, you know you're going to go for an internship, you know you're going to go for an interview for a job placement. You can always plan in advance, at least 6 months in advance. You can start doing your shopping, right? You can shop for your formal attire, your semi-formal attire, right? And it's best that you shop during sale. Do not spend a lot of money on this, right? Okay, where can you use this dress well, speak well approach? Career fairs and interview stage, as I said earlier. Okay, so far, do you all understand? Everything good? If yes, please give me a 2. All right. Okay. This one just to give you all an extra idea. Yeah? Okay. For those of you who are okay to do this extra effort, okay. For instance, for LinkedIn, okay, LinkedIn and JobStreet, okay, because both this where you're using active link method, right? So what you can do is, besides dropping your resume using the active link, what you can do is, after let's say about 3 to 5 days, okay, not too long and not immediately after you drop your resume, let it be about 3 to 5 days, okay, you call the company directly, okay, you call the company directly, ask if you can speak to the person in charge, okay, because for LinkedIn, right, you can actually know who the person in charge is for the job advert, okay, because at the bottom of the job advert, you can see the advert is posted by whom. That's for LinkedIn, okay, but usually for JobStreet, you wouldn't have information, okay, but of course, you know which company you're applying to, correct? So you Google it up, all right, get the company's number and call to the HR department, okay, and speak to the person in charge who's actively in charge for the recruitment process, okay, and ask if they've received your resume. Because imagine, if you're applying via JobStreet, there are a lot of them who will be applying for a job. So if you are one of the candidates that's going to call in to check on your resume, that will be an added advantage for you. Okay, another thing that you can use is Grammarly. I'm not sure if many of y'all are aware of Grammarly. Are y'all aware of Grammarly? It's actually an app. It's actually a software. Yes, okay. So Grammarly, you can just install it for free in your PC, okay? And then you can link it to your email. You can link it to your Word documents, your chats, and all that. It will actually auto-correct. It will highlight to you all your grammar mistake. So in a way, you're also practicing your grammar, and also companies will not, be not happy with your language, right? Okay, next. Once you've done all that and you've secured an interview, right? What do you do during your interview? All right. First, the do's of before interview day. What you should do before interview day. Okay. Before I proceed with my slide, any ideas from your side? What are the do's before interview day? As in, like let's say about 4 to 5 days before the interview day. What do y'all do? Research the company, yes. Practice script, that means mock interview, all right. Research, practice. What else? Okay, let me proceed. Correct. So first, you need to understand the nature of the business. What does the company do? a bit on their history. All right, you can't be being present for an interview without knowing anything about the company. All right, and then before you actually apply for a vacancy, you need to understand the job scope. Right, you need to know what you need to do if you're being hired for that position. Okay, only by knowing the job scope, which actually is available in the job description. Okay, if it's not, then you can actually do some homework by researching about it. Okay, you need to understand what is the job scope for the job placement that you are looking for, right? Next, before you go for the interview, you need to know who is the person in charge for your interview, right? If the information is not given in your email, right, what you can do is call up the company and inquire. You need to know who's the person who's actually managing your interview. Next, ask on the documents needed, where you have to be, which you need to present it, because for certain companies, they might require for you to bring all your, what do you call that, academic transcript. For some companies, they don't require that; they just need your cert. Okay. Next, know where is the exact location for your interview, and for this, you can actually use Google Map. Okay. You go to Google Map, you just search, you just drop in the location of your company's address, all right? And actually click on the picture view, okay? So that you actually know how does your interview place it's going to look like. So that imagine if you are running late, all that is actually going to save you time, okay? And also how long will it take from your current location to that location, right? Practice on possible questions, mock interview, okay? You can actually request for mock interview to any one of us from SCDC, okay, if you need it, all right? And then practice on also possible rejection. It's not just practicing on possible questions to us. You also need to practice on possible rejections, as in, what is your weakness which companies may detect and they might reject you for? Ask yourself that one question, okay? And then, because you wouldn't want during the interview session if companies just say that, I think you're not qualified for this position. I think you don't have enough skills for, let's say, you don't have good bargaining skills, let's say. If you do not practice on that possible rejection, you might be jammed during that whole interview session, all right? Next, bring all your required original document. Besides your copy, bring the original also, because at times they would like to check if it's verified or if it's authentic, okay? Also plan ahead of your formal attire. Have enough sleep, be neat, clean, all right? And also please make sure that, you are having a professional image, you're carrying a professional image. Because why? Because you are also representing the company if you are being selected, okay? Okay, on the interview day, just now was before, now on the interview day, what do you need to do? Any ideas? Please drop in the chat section. On the interview day, yeah, that means like say it's about maybe 2 to 3 hours before the interview, what do you need to do? Check appearance, okay, wake up early, yes, everything prepared, yes, correct. Okay, so what you need to do is recheck if all your documents are intact, okay? Because there are high chances that, one of your documents might just slip out, without you realizing, okay? Arrive early, 30 minutes at least. Why 30 minutes at least? Why? Do you all know why? Why do you need to be at least 30 minutes early before your interview session? Why? Find parking, okay? Besides parking, why you need to be early for your interview session, at least 30 minutes, it's because they will actually provide you a set of documents for you to fill up, your personal details, okay? They might even ask you to prepare for a grammar test or a psychology assessment, all right? So please arrive early, all right? Always bring your own pen, have a light meal, and remember, please remember the name of the person in charge, because that is one way you're showing the person that you are interested with the vacancy, okay? And if it's possible, send a greeting note to that person in charge here, at least like maybe an hour before your interview. For instance, Miss Janice, okay, hi, I'm excited to meet you in an hour's time, okay. But this approach, it's not to say an approach which you can practice for all companies, okay. Let's say if it's a small company, or it's the person in charge is a friend of friend, okay, then yes, you can actually use this approach, because you cannot be using this approach to a company which is having mass hiring, okay. For small companies, or if the person already know you through another person, then you can use this approach. All right. So do's during the interview. What do you need to do during the interview day? Okay. First, always walk in with confidence. The aura that you bring in, okay, it's very important. First impression really do matter. Okay. Walk in with confidence, with an approachable face. Okay. Greet everyone that are present. Okay. Sometimes your interview might have just one person. Sometimes it can be two. Sometimes it can even be 5 to 6 or even 10 of them for one interview to interview you. Right. Give a firm handshake. Okay. And then for your resume, yeah, only provide them your resume upon request. Why? Because by right, all of them actually already have your resume. All right. And then speak in clear, moderate speed with no long pauses. Why with no long pauses? Because that will be very awkward, right? And then ask questions politely, right? Ask, may I, can I, ask politely. And then this is the time for you to inquire on the nature of job. Whatever that you're not confirmed with, you have your questions, right? This is the time for you to ask, not after, but during the interview day. Ask it politely, okay, as you will actually have a better understanding. You can also ask questions like, for this job vacancy, how many of them are in the team? Those are the questions that you can ask. And what is the location? Am I going to be placed in this office, or is it going to be a different office? All right. And always be humble and be honest. All right. Be honest with the questions that you answer. Okay. This is during the interview. Any idea what happens after the interview? What you should do after the interview? Any idea? You can drop it in the chat section. After interview. Okay, someone mentioned follow up after 3 days. Okay. So follow up for 3 days. It's point number 2. Give at least 3 working days for the management to provide you with updates of your interview. What does it mean by working days? Is Saturday, Sunday included? Let's say your interview is on a Friday. So is Saturday, Sunday included? Yes or no? Yes, it's a no, right? Because typically most of the companies, they do not function on a Saturday. So you can exclude Saturday. So you start, that means you went for an interview on Friday, right? So if it's 3 working days, you start on Monday. Monday is day 1. So it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So on Wednesday, you can actually call them up or drop them an email to inquire on the update on your interview process. Okay. Before that, right? Immediately after your interview, one thing that you can do is drop them a thank you email. Thank you for having yourself, thank the person in charge and mention that you're actually looking forward for the person's email, right? After that, you give about 3 working days, all right? If there's no any update, and then you can drop them an email again, or you can call them up, all right? So if you're accepted, right, thank them, all right, and ask them for a confirmation email. Confirmation letter. In that confirmation letter, it states all those important required information, as in where you'll be working, your allowance, the duration of your job, what's your job scope, the time, everything. You need to have all those copy, right? And if you're not accepted, still thank them, as they can be your future employees, because this person in charge is working in a HR department, correct? You wouldn't know in 2 to 3 years' time the same person can actually be hired into another company, and that same person can be in charge of your interview process again. Imagine if you have a bad rapport with a person. Definitely it will provide you a bad chance to secure an interview with the next company if this is the same person who's going to be the person in charge. Okay, all right. And if you're not happy with the offer, even though you're selected, please decline the offer politely, okay? Because you are also politely with proper reason, okay? Because you're also not just representing yourself, you're also representing the other TAR University, TAR UC students, right? You wouldn't want to spoil their opportunity. Okay, all good so far? If yes, please drop me a 1. Okay, let's go to the don'ts, okay? So for the don'ts, don't oversell yourself, okay? Why I say this, don't oversell. It's something that all of y'all are aware of, but let me give y'all an example, yeah? Let's say for the job description that you're going for, it clearly states that you need to have, let's say, a pro level skill for Excel, okay? You need to be really good with your Excel, right? And when you sell yourself to the company, you say, yes, I'm very good in my Excel, I can do this, I can do that, and all that, right? And later on, you're being hired, okay? And during your first day of your job, the first thing that you're supposed to do is all about Excel, and you'll be stuck that time. So how are you going to proceed with your job? So that's why do not oversell yourself. Speak the truth, okay? If you're at the beginning stage, mention that you're at a beginning stage, but you're able, you'll ensure that you train yourself to be at a pro level, okay? Do not lie or pretend, okay? Another thing, do not be demanding, okay? Do not be demanding, but actually you can enhance your bargaining skill with the company. For instance, let's say the starting salary of the company actually was upfront to you, mentioning that the starting salary for the company is actually a 2,500, but you are keen with only with a 3,000, okay? You do not be demanding by saying, oh no, I'm only okay with the 3,000. Whereas you can change the method of actually asking for a higher pay. For instance, you can actually bargain with the company, mentioning that, okay, perhaps I can start off with a 2.5, okay, but is it possible, right, if I show my progress in a 6 months time or in a year's time, you give the time frame, a possible time frame, is it possible that I obtain a pay rise, okay, to a 3,000? Ask. It's your duty to bargain yourself to the company, right? Okay. Also, do not rely on the companies for updates. Updates as in like whether you're selected or you're not selected, because there are a lot of companies who actually do not entertain you right after the interview. They will just keep you hanging. So it's your duty to actually call the company up, right? And always remind yourself to be independent, ask questions, seek for clarification when needed, okay? And please avoid unprofessional language. Okay, unprofessional language is all those 4-letter words, please avoid all those languages. Even though the company might sound cool to you, let's say the hiring person actually uses all those unprofessional languages during the interview session. Please do not fall into the trap by, also using those languages, because that might just be a trap for you to see if you're going to continue with those unprofessional language. All right? Okay. Any questions before I end my session for the day? Any questions? You can drop in the chat section. If you're not clear, you want to clarify anything, you can ask me. No questions. Okay, rely on company for updates. Okay, when I say rely on company for updates, what I mean is, okay, there are a lot of companies, right? Even though you have secured your first interview, okay, you might end up waiting for days, even weeks, right? And there's no update from the company. Companies do not update you saying that, hi, Clara, you have been selected, or hi, Clara, you're not being selected. Because there are companies, even though after you've secured your first interview, right? It takes them at least 2 to 3 processing weeks to secure their candidate, as in like to be sure that's the candidate that they want. Okay. Or there are companies, if you're rejected, they do not update you saying that you're not selected. All right, that's what I meant by do not rely on company. You have to call in to ask if you're selected or not selected. Are you clear? Why Teng Ho? All right. Any other questions? Okay, if you do not have any questions, perhaps I can share with you, since we still have some time, I'll share with you a few of feedbacks from my friends in the industry for the hiring part, right? A lot of my friends who are in the HR department, they actually mentioned that a lot of fresh graduates, right, they are over demanding. Examples of over demanding, this is not something, they do not explain with just 1 to 2 candidates. Yeah, let's say they have 10 candidates, okay, who are freshly just graduated, right? At least 5 to 6 of them, they request for a starting pay of 6 to 9,000 ringgit. That's actually a lot. Okay, and a lot of them are actually shocked by seeing this unrealistic salary which is being requested by new grads, right? Please, before you apply for a job, right, do some market research, okay? Ask people around you, okay, for that particular job, how much will a company offer? Typically, companies, if you're a fresh grad, your salary starts as low as 2,005, right? And it goes as high as 3,000 ringgit. If you're in those sales position, yes, you do get a higher pay due to your commission. IT jobs also do have a higher pay scale for a start, but typically for all the other job scope, it starts as low as 2,500 to 3,000. Okay, and they also mentioned to me that a lot of the current fresh grads, right? A lot of them actually have very poor manner. Okay, poor manner as in not just verbally, poor manner as in time taken to reply to email. It's very slow. Okay, email ethics is bad. All right, too much of short forms being used, too much of emojis being used. All right, even 4 letters being used. So all this you need to avoid. Okay, and my one advice to y'all, yeah, it's that please enhance your skills. Okay, your cert, your degree, your master's, let it be whatever, it is just like a pass for you. It's just an entry pass for you to get a job. Okay, but it's not going to guarantee that you're going to get a job placement. Your skills is going to guarantee you a job placement. What is a skill? Do you all know what is a skill? You can drop it in the chat section. What is a skill? That is example, communication skill. That's correct. It's a skill. Leadership is a skill. But what is a skill? Yes, it actually provides you with personal advantage. Why is it a personal advantage if you have a skill? Because a skill is what that sells you to a company. Okay, a skill sells you to a company. If you have a skill, an enhanced skill compared to another candidate, that is what is going to sell you to a company. For instance, let me give you an example. Let's say you're going for a sales position. Okay, a sales position. Okay, you have good language skill. Okay, as in language skill, as in your paper wise, exam wise, it's all E. But that is only, your language is only a skill for that company only when you can use it to gain income for the company. Gain income in the sense that if that company is going to proceed with sales, how are you going to gain income? How are you going to enhance the income? It's by your bargaining skill. Using your language, you're going to enhance your bargaining skills to gain profit for the company by increasing its sales. Do you all understand? If it's yes, please drop me a one. Okay, so that's the importance of skill. So every one of us, we actually have our skill. So it's your duty to know what is the skill that you have. Your skill makes you unique. You do not actually need to go for any courses to enhance your skill. You can actually improvise your skill through trial and error, by self practice, by different job experience. You can enhance your skill, but please know what are your skills. Okay, and also when you're reading a job JD, right, a job description, um, learn how to read in between those lines and try to fit your skills into the job description. All right, for instance, it's they require you to do sales, like the previous example, right? So you put in your bargaining skills to it. So when you're pitching yourself, pitching as in it means you're selling yourself to the company during the interview day, make sure you pitch your skills together to the company. That's how you make sure that the rate of you securing your interview is higher. All right. Okay, so any questions? If you do not have any questions, I will end my session. Okay, if everything is good, please proceed with this feedback form. All right, you need to scan this and fill out the details in order for you to get your soft skill points. Right? And also, if you cannot scan this code, you can actually use the link shared by Ms. Kani in the chat section to fill up your feedback form. Okay, Janice, back to you.
Okay, thank you, Miss Loshene. Okay, guys, you guys can find the link in the chat box for the feedback form. So, a gentle reminder again, you guys will only get the soft skill points once you guys fill out the feedback form, so do not miss it. Thank you very much, Miss Loshini, for the fruitful session. I believe you guys did learn something from the session. If you guys like feeling very nervous before the interview session, right, the best thing to do actually is to practice. Practice makes perfect. So you can just like look at the mirror and then keep practicing until you are fluent with your content, with what you're going to tell the employees during the interview session. Okay. So it's okay for not doing the best, but everyone will experience the process. So once you practice it enough, you will do good. Okay, you will be good. Okay. So thank you all for staying until now. Okay, so for those who want to look for internship placement, you guys can actually register for our virtual internship fair they're going to hold on 12 to 16 July. Okay, the link is in the chat box, taruccareerfair.com. Okay, you can click into the platform and register yourself as students. And on the event days, you will be able to see a lot of job vacancies. For now, we already have more than 100 companies registered on the platform. Okay, so make sure to register yourself to secure a internship placement. And also, we do have a lucky draw session for the whole event where we will be giving out five uh, prizes. How to say? We are giving out to five winners, and each of the winners will get 500 ringgit worth of H&M gift card. Okay, this is the lucky draw session. So you guys can also log into the platform and look at the details, look at the terms and conditions. Okay, and also, if you guys would like to refer back to this recording of this webinar session, this recording will be uploaded to the platform as well, the virtual internship fair platform. Okay, maybe it will be uploaded after 1 or 2 days, so make sure to check it out. And also, you can maybe after a few days we will be uploading the recording to our Facebook as well. So make sure to follow our Facebook page, TARUC Student Career Development Center. Okay. So yeah, that's all for today. This is the end of our webinar session. So make sure you leave only after you finish the feedback form, all right? Okay. Thank you all. That's all for today. Thank you.